Hey y'all, welcome in. Whether you're tuning in from our Apple Podcasts, our Spotify, or for our viewers here on YouTube, we want to say welcome to another episode of What Anna Said Podcast. Yes, so today we do have a very special guest with us today. But before we get there, guys, I did want to say that Anna just got off from work. As you guys know, that Anna has two jobs where she works, and then also whenever on her off days, she's helping my dad as well. So she just came all the way from Granbury straight here to the recording. So thank you, Anna, for coming here in such a timely manner. Yeah, and rushing straight here from work. So we do have a very special guest with us today. We have Pita Tangifolau Mose with us today. Thank you so much, Folau, for joining us and taking the time to be here with us this evening. I know that Folau, he already has a busy schedule as it is, which we're going to get into, his career and also a father and a husband. So we thank you so much for just taking the time to sit down and out of your busy schedule to be here with us. So Folau, I'm going to hand over the mic to you, and you can go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers.
Thank you, Kim. Just want to thank Kim and Anna for allowing me to come on their episode tonight. Hello, everyone. My name is Pita Tangifolau Mose. Depending on where I'm at and where I work for or what side of the family I'm from, they address me from my first name, middle name, or last name. But yeah, thank you guys for taking that opportunity to come out, coming over here on your show and speak a little bit about myself.
Yes, thank you, Folau. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are your parents and how many siblings do you have, and where do you fall in your siblings?
So, born, raised, youth in Euless, Texas. My parents are Naitinin Folau Mose. I'm one of 6 siblings. Fortunately, I'm the 4th child, so I have 3 older sisters, and so I kind of bought into their bullying at an early age.
I can definitely relate with the bullying. I have 2 older sisters, so they do the same to me. But can you go ahead and share some memories with us from your childhood? What was a daily life for you growing up as a child here in Euless, Texas?
Yeah, my childhood pretty much been around all my cousins. I really didn't have friends. I had forced friends which my first cousins were. A lot of our time spent was either at school or going to church. And I mean, back in the days when I was growing up, we went to church 4 times a week. It was a Wednesday night service, Friday night service. Saturday was for choir practice, and then we had a 3-hour sermon. Yeah, almost exactly 3 hours growing up. So that's kind of how been my background growing up.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I know for sure. I mean, even to this day, seeing your family, there is a lot of you guys. So I know I can just imagine how it was for you growing up with all of your firsties, like you said, your forced best friends, and how special that must have been, and the memories that you guys got to cherish and make, whether it's running around in the house and grandma and grandpa's telling you to sit down, or playing hide and seek in the dark with your grandma. I know that was for Thiaki on our other episode. He shared that about with him and his grandma. So definitely moments with family is something to cherish, especially big families.
But just hearing about what you shared about spending all your time at church, I mean, for those of you that are watching that may not, share the same culture, or not a Pacific Islander, that's something that's very, very, I think for almost everyone I know, that is the same thing, that, growing up, being at church 4 times a week, all your functions are at church, your friends are from church, if they're not your family, they're from the church. And it's almost one of the first things that you ask people when you meet them, especially in your same culture. If you meet another Tongan, you say, what church do you go to, and it's like the quickest way that I can identify you and know where your background, where you came from, who your family is. So it's just, when you were sharing that and saying like the sermon being 3 hours long, that's just so funny to think about, because it's true. It's not an exaggeration. It probably was at 3 hours on the dot long. So just thinking about that and the way that you grew up. Did you grow up here in Texas? Have you been here all your life?
Born, raised, all my life in Euless, so yeah, I would say I'm a native Texan.
Wow. For us, for siblings like us, we grew up moving around a lot. And so just hearing, I think it's so special when I get to hear someone that was born and raised and they're still there and they're giving, they grow up and they come back to the community and serve the community they're in and still in here in Texas. Just thinking about lifelong friendships, lifelong, relationships that you have here in your city. That's something that's so cool. When I hear people that's so proud of where they're from, like, this is Texas all day and this, I say that and I'm like, even though I came here later in life, but it's just so cool to when I hear someone like, oh, this is, I'm native to here. I've born and raised and my family's here, my friends are here, so that's really cool. But going back to your childhood, how was that like, your upbringing, going to school, as kids, we think about, I don't know if you thought about this, but what maybe were you going to be when you grew up? I know you spent most of your time at church, so I don't know, maybe firefighter was one of those things, but what, just tell us a little bit about your childhood and, going through school and all of that. So if you could share a little bit more about your childhood, growing up, being surrounded by family, being surrounded by church, and having that foundation already, it sounds like, growing up so rich in community in your own family. What are the things that you thought about that if you ever had that thought growing up in your childhood, what you were going to be? Going to church, maybe firefighter was one of the options on your list. Just seeing the things that you were exposed to. If you could share any of that with us.
I know at a young age, our NFL dream was always a big thing. Parents always preached on it. Sports is very big. That's how you can get your education. And that we're going to reach the stars. We're going to go NFL. And when I got to middle school or high school, I wanted to do something with psychology. Something about how the brain works and how we think just interested me. So those were kind of like my career paths of what I thought I would be going into high school.
That's so interesting to hear that you already had that thought going into high school. I know for Kim, did you see?
Do you remember how I said the 4 best friends and then the big sisters that pick on you? Yeah, this right here.
But that is so cool. Tell me a little bit about psychology and how, if your first memory of how you became interested in that. Because I don't hear that a lot, especially like you said, it was football, being preached to you on this end, and then psychology.
For me, we used to watch these YouTube videos about Socrates. I don't know exactly what the...
No, I think you're just smart.
I don't know. Me and my cousins, there's really something about Socrates, but the deeper that we were thinking, like, I don't know, maybe it was just one of those things where we're just deep thinking, and I felt like that was something out of body experience that you can experience, not being inside of the next.
Yes. No, I think that's really cool. I think I love hearing that because that is so different and not the norm for especially our culture. Our people, I don't ever hear someone talking about, I'm interested in psychology, and they're still a middle in middle school or however young you were at that time when you were thinking that. So it to me, that shows that you were already kind of thinking outside of the box before you even entered high school. But I know you, like you said, football is a big thing preached to you, and if you're an Islander, know that's true for your family.
You want to make the NFL, right?
Right. Yeah. NFL, football, and or nothing else. So take us through that journey with you, football, getting into sports, getting into football, and kind of if that was your goal, you set your sights on that in high school.
Okay, so pretty much I had like a hard reality when I went to junior college and found out the hard way that I wasn't blessed with the talents for football.
At least you're on.
And at least I came to I came to my own sense. I was like, okay. I started Googling, like, what are the chances of getting into the NFL? Like, less than 1%. I was like, okay, easy. This is not for me. Like, I wanted to figure out a different career path.
So you did football all through high school?
Yes.
And is that what took you to college?
Yes.
Right. So football opened the door to that. And then you said that you had the realization one day that this might not be the thing for
Yep,
me.
but then Lord didn't bless me with those gifts.
Right.
So, yeah.
You know what I love though is because, like you said, the Lord didn't bless you with those gifts, but the Lord did bless you with gifts.
Yes.
And so I love that you looked at that and that you were. You know what I love when someone is just self-aware.
Yes.
I love that because I love to sing. I love to sing. That doesn't mean that I'm supposed to be a singer. You know, that doesn't mean I'm supposed to be a pop star. Yeah. But if you ask anyone in my family, I love to sing. I love music. I love to hear music, dance to music. If there's a microphone, I want to sing. And so just because you like something, you know, it's good to know. It's good to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
That's
and
a big
know,
thing too.
yeah.
Like self-recognition.
Yeah.
Yes,
For
yes.
sure.
Recognition,
And,
awareness.
Yeah, get it early.
Yes,
Yeah, so
that
you don't
too.
waste time in other people's time. So.
Don't waste other people's time too. That's a good one.
Okay, so that's just don't waste your own time.
Exactly.
You know, the faster you get into your gift, the faster you're able to live the life you were purposed for.
Yep.
So walk us through that. You said you just one day hard realization, you know what, this is not for me. What were the steps there, you know, for you?
So my journey kind of went a little bit. So after I finished high school, I was offered a half scholarship out there to play for a college in LA.
Really?
Kind of like figuring out that, you know, so the part of the half scholarship was part of like financial aid, and then the other half you're gonna have to kind of, you know, fund for yourself. So I spent a whole summer out there. My priorities changed because now I'm paying rent. California rent is so expensive. I'm living with like 4 or 5 different roommates in a 1-bedroom. And I was more worried about paying my rent instead of going to school. And that was another one of those self-recognition, like, what am I doing out here? I came home. I literally came home. I felt homesick. I felt like I didn't have that purpose, that drive out there in California. I had a cousin that was at Tyler Junior College. It was like, hey, just come walk on football over here. There was probably like a group of maybe 8 kids from Euless. And I felt like that was going to be home for me if I still wanted to continue my education. So I went over there, walked on, and then that's where the whole story of like finding that hard realization that football wasn't for me at Tyler Junior College.
Wow. So you started out following the football path, you know, just going through the motions. Let me do the 1, 2, 3 steps that I need to do this. And then you get the opportunity to go to the other college in California.
Correct.
And so you're still doing all the things, you know, I'm finding my way, paying the rent, focusing in school. I'm doing all of this. And then you're still feeling like, man, something's missing. And the one thing you know is that I miss home. You know, whatever's going on right now, but I know I miss home. I need to go back home. I need to connect. I need to touch base with my people. And that journey leads you to Tyler College. Right. So someone comes into your life and says, hey, you can do that, but you can do it here. There's people from your hometown here.
Yeah, I'm thankful for my cousin that reached out to me.
Yes.
I would never have thought of that situation, but
right. Yes. And so that opened up another opportunity for you. Like, hey, I can do what I'm doing in California, but I can do it right here.
Yeah.
And so you still go there for football. Yeah. You know, that's still your journey at that time. And then this is when you have the hard realization, okay, this is not for me.
Correct.
Wow. I mean, for me, thinking about that, you're in school, you go through your, junior high school, and then your family's like, football, which is, that's just life in our community. And not just that, but in Texas, Texas is God family football. Yeah. And that priority, it might be different for other people, but so then you go through school, like furthering your education, following football, just to get to that realization. However you felt whenever you had to come to terms with that, how did that affect you?
I think I just seen from some of the other boys that did go to college, and they either they didn't finish their education or they came back home early for whatever circumstance that they did have. That while I was there, I was able to have some mentorship from one of my older brothers, who I claim by my older cousins. They told me, while you're here, don't just get a degree in general studies. Actually specify in something. And this is the time where, like, Officer Feilo Kena, he got in with Euless Police Department, and everybody, I kid you not, everybody over there was criminal justice degree. Like, that's so that was the big movement, because you see one of your own, and that's what everybody was going for. So I was like, we're gonna be police officers, criminal justice degree. Some of them did the criminal part, but not the justice part, right? So
Clock it. Clock it real fast.
But he was one of those mentors that I did have that was just like, use that time that you have here, specify in a certain degree that you want to do. So when you walk out with that piece of paper, you can apply it to the real world. So
I love that. I love when, a mentor in your life, a friend in your life, a brother, a sister can come alongside you as you're going through, and they don't even have to know what you're going through or what you're dealing with or the internal conflicts, your conversations you're having with yourself, but they come and shed some light, or they plant a seed and look at where it leads to. Look at the things that have grown from that one conversation that you had, and how it completely opened up your realm of possibility, even thinking. Something you said that's so funny, because you said everyone now everyone's doing criminal justice because this guy went and did it, made it, and so that's so true. Especially in our world, come from a small island, you go where and so I know the airport, I know, Yate, I know all of these things, and we see that it works for them. And that's why I love that we have you here today. I love that our listeners get to talk to you, because you're showing them another way, which we'll get to the end of the story and find out. But you are here to present another path. But go ahead and walk us through that after that conversation and you having these life-changing thoughts. How did you navigate through that?
So, little background: when I was at Tyler Junior College, I did walk on a team, but I wasn't on a scholarship. I was pretty much homeless out there. But because I had all those boys from Euless, they opened up their dorms and just had me sleeping there. So I would sleep. I was fortunate enough that I had an older cousin that was there that allowed me to sleep on my first year. And then my little brother was able to, he came to Tyler Junior College the year after, and I finished my last year at Tyler Junior College sleeping on his floor in his dorm room. But it was one of those where, like, the coaches will come and they'll, like, check room checks, and I'll be out the door by, like, 5:30 a.m. somewhere hiding in campus just waiting for the library to open. Just one of those,
Imagine,
It was a bit of a struggle.
Oh, I can't even. Let me just stop here.
Okay.
Let me just stop here and address this real quick, because my mind can't even go past this.
Okay.
I didn't even know this part of your story. I for those of you who know Lau, the way that we know him is through the Mid-City Pacific Islanders Lions Club. Well, the way that I do. I know my siblings, you guys, you guys are closer in age and you guys went to school together. But for me, just knowing you and, the first time I got to meet you and just hearing your, the career path that you took, and just hearing your passion and why you wanted to join the Lions Club, and how you wanted to make your mark and let these kids know that, look at me, I did it, you can do it. There's a way. Football's not the only way. There's so many opportunities out there. If this is not your gift, you keep going till you find yours, because you have one. And that was inspiring enough for me when we first had that conversation. And I remember telling my sisters, I said, we need him to come on the podcast. I need him to tell kids
Sorry,
that.
it took so long.
No,
I've been trying to avoid them for the longest. Yeah,
He's been.
I'm busy, but
like,
just
Folau.
busy enough not to.
No, I completely understand that. Trust me. And so that's why I'm so appreciative that you're here, because I know you had to make time for this. You didn't have time. You made time to be here. But this right here, just hearing that part of your story and hearing that, you walked on at Tyler and there was nothing there for you. You didn't have a room. I mean, they're doing room checks. You're, the schedule of the room checks, because you're making sure that you're not in the room. I can't, and when you think about it, because what are all the things you need to go to school? Right now, kids are going to school. Parents are taking kids to colleges, dropping them off. They have everything for your dorm, maybe a little rice pot, maybe a little something to cook, maybe, somewhere to put your clothes, or you need clothes for the winter, clothes for this, you need a ride or whatever. you didn't even have a room.
Yeah.
You didn't even have a place to lay your head.
I did have a car.
Right.
So the exchange with the car was I would give them rides to Walmart. Everyone would go do the groceries and they'll feed me.
Yeah. Okay,
and
that's
like-
genius.
Okay.
I got
Yeah.
something you need. You got something I need.
Correct, right.
Right. So, right, the teamwork. And I, like, that is, to me, just shows how much you knew that you had something, like, that you were destined for something. Whether at that time that you knew what it was or whatever, but you went and you didn't give up. You didn't let not having a place to lay your head get in the way. You didn't let that stop you. You said, hey, I got this car. Like, I have nothing, but I have a car. And, you know, you still offered a service. You were still valuable to them because you met a need that they had and they were able to meet a need that you had. I can't even, I mean, to think about that, I don't know if I'm that brave, if I could have done something like that. But to see that you were driven by something else, there was a fire inside of you that drove you.
There was a higher purpose. And
Exactly.
that's something that I always, like, in my back of my mind, I was like, okay, I came here.
Right.
I want to accomplish what I came here to do. So
He said, I'm not a quitter.
Okay.
He said, I'm not a quitter. I don't know that word.
I know.
I don't know that word.
I know.
No, really, like, I am so inspired right now. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. You want to go get it. There's no excuse. And even to hear that your little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Came
was
to
fortunate
school.
enough to get a scholarship to Tyler Junior College, and you know it's a 2-year program.
Yes.
And so you know I was fortunate enough. My older cousin was able to take me in, but then my brother came. It was even better. I was like,
Yeah.
I get to go to school with my brother.
Yes.
He used to hate all the time because he knew, like, even though that it was his dorm, that he would always complain and sleep on the floor.
Yeah. Oh.
Please. I didn't know I was going to cry today. I'm trying to laugh so I don't cry. This is just.
Oh man.
I mean, you know, family means so much to us, especially in our culture. It's one of the core values that we have as Islanders, as Polynesians. Family means so much. And just to hear, you know, your little brother, he's like, I'm going to sleep on the floor. And you as the older brother, just being such a, like, setting the bar for him. Like, you know what? You got a scholarship, we got a scholarship now.
Yeah.
and just
Free room and board, yeah.
yes. And like buckling down, like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. We're gonna do what needs to be done so that I can be exactly who I was created to be. Man, purpose driven. Talk about some purpose driven activities. Woo! Sally's talking. So Sally's here with us. For those of you that have seen some of our episodes, Sally's not in the video, but she's still around. And so right now she's talking off camera. But we're going to go ahead and ignore her. But man, that's honestly, I
totally forgot about all those memories
Like,
until we got a little bit deeper, and now I
yeah.
remember clearly.
Yeah.
Man, I love that. And thank you so
that.
much for being
Yes.
vulnerable and sharing that, because the nitty gritty and all of those things, that's what somebody right now needs to hear that.
Exactly.
Somebody's probably facing a situation and they're thinking like, man, this is so unorthodox. This is what an unorthodox way for me to go to school. And then they hear your story and the fire that's lit inside of them. Like, this guy can do it. Look at him. Look at him. And he did it. And just, especially as an older sister, just feeling like putting myself in your shoes and just feeling how you felt as the older sibling and your little sibling being there, and you're still the oldest. It doesn't matter if I have nothing.
Right?
You're still
Yeah.
leading the way.
Even though it's your scholarship, but you know what? You're gonna take care of me. Oh no, it's just just the way you grow up, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Those bonds that you build growing up with your 1,000 cousins and your 3-hour sermons at church and just all of that time, it really does. That bond really is what leads to things like this, and those, like you said, your big cousin taking care of you and those who came alongside you while you were at school and mentoring you or giving you a little piece of advice. And man, just seeing you stick through that. So walk me through this. So you're here with your brother. Do you finish school this way?
I finished school. I graduate my fire science degree But just like little background before that, so I had that mentor.
Yes.
I mean, I had like one of my older brothers just
Right.
be there and tell me
Yes.
like, hey, this is go specialize in a certain degree. This, and so maybe that day I walked to a hallway near admin office, and then there was just a wall of brochures, planners, different career paths. And I'm over there just like taking my time. I'm just like looking at things like how to be a police officer. No. How to become a dental hygienist or a doctor, and that didn't spark my interest. But there was one that had a picture of a firefighter, and it was just like flames in the background. He's like carrying a big hose, and you could just see like just the way that he was prepared to go into emergency, not knowing what's ahead of him, just being prepared. And that was something I always wanted to do something. I mean, I always wanted to help people. I just didn't know how, and I felt like this was the field for me to go into. And so that's when from that day I pursued, the aspects and to become a firefighter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, your story is playing out like a movie in my head. I just want you to know. So you see all of these different pathways all the possibilities, doctor, firefighter, all these things. And this time you're taking a genuine look at this because you're looking at at what's your next path that you're going to take in life.
I'm looking at the long run. I'm like, okay, I'm here. This is what the programs that they offer.
Right.
Let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and jump on one of these programs. And this is kind of what kind of career I want to pursue.
So do you are you still pursuing that simultaneously with football? Where is football right now in your...
So I believe I did football for the first year. And after that, whenever, I realized that, maybe this is not for me. I'm already here. I took out loans. I never wanted to put burden on my parents. I was like, I never wanted to let money stop me from my education. So I did that upon myself. Where were we at before that?
How you shared that you were in football the first year, and then you didn't pursue
so after the first year, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And and now I believe I'm taking like 6 or 7 classes now, like per semester, because I'm trying to graduate at a certain timeline. Like I'm trying to crunch in whatever I can. When my brother leaves, that's it for me. Because, I got no place to stay.
Oh, no, not the forced timeline.
Yes, the timeline. The timeline was forced because I was like, okay, when he graduates, I'm graduating too.
I didn't even think about the added pressure.
That is right.
I didn't even... Silly me. I am not asking the right questions. You have a forced timeline because now your brother's in school.
Yes.
Now you know exactly how long it is that you're going to have this dorm.
Yeah.
And... all the plans that you have, you better get it done by the time he's gone.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm thinking like, okay, where am I gonna sleep? Like once he leaves, then I'm not gonna have a place to stay. So I'm saying like I'm taking like 6 or 7 classes per semester, just knocking out as many credits as I can for that degree plan. So
wow, this is what I'm hearing.
No quitting.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is you found out what works and what doesn't work. You found out this is not for me, and you completely locked in. You said, let me take all these classes because first of all, I don't have a home.
Yeah.
Second of all, I need to make sure when he's done, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, and you completely like just not. I don't want to say the fast lane, but because you didn't take any shortcuts, you did everything on a fast forward timeline, basically. Ooh, I can't even think about the stress of maybe being caught, maybe, all of those.
Yeah.
I can't even think about that on top of all of the workload that you had for school. Wow.
So I pursued a degree in fire science.
Okay, it's called fire science.
Okay.
Learned it.
I think they call it fire technology.
Okay.
But so I get my associates from there. While I'm taking those classes, what I didn't know that the minimum requirement is that you needed to have your EMT. I don't know if you guys know, but if you see any firefighter that comes through your door or any surrounding cities, that they are dual role. They have 2 licenses. They have a firefighter
Okay,
They're
so they're
firefighter
qualified.
certified, and they also have a license as in the minimum as an EMT or a paramedic.
Okay.
So that's why they're
Wow,
able to
that's good to
respond to
know.
those emergencies.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so that makes sense because sometimes
Yes.
the firefighter comes first and they already have all the,
Correct.
you know,
Yeah,
they already
they're
know what
under
to
two
do.
licenses. Yeah.
Wow, wow. Learn something new.
Yeah,
I never
me
knew that.
too.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So then now you know that you need that minimum requirement.
Correct.
So now you're pursuing that now.
Yeah. So now I'm coming back home.
Okay.
So I finished my time at Tyler Junior College. Now I'm taking courses at TCC.
Wow.
Yeah. I enrolled myself into the EMT program and found another harsh reality that I didn't pass it the first time. That was just a lack of knowledge of like anatomy, physiology, how the body works. I'd never been introduced to that, and I never science wasn't a strong subject in high school.
Yeah, it never had to be. What do I need that for?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So while I'm over there at TCC, I failed EMT school the first time, and you feel down. But then I never gave up. I ended up working a full-time job. I'm working at the warehouse, and now I'm taking one class per semester because I got to work full-time.
Yeah.
And now I'm just taking I'm just taking anatomy and physiology 1 for this semester, and then I'll take the next one the next semester. So it took me some time to get those science courses so I can get familiar with what the functions of the body and how it works, and that was just something self-education that I took that time. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with TCC. So
Wow. So you take all of that in Tyler, everything that you know that you need, you take that. You finish from Tyler, then you're faced with you're like, what? I need to, at minimum, need to know all this EMT stuff. Then you come home, you enroll yourself in TCC, you enroll yourself, and we're emphasizing that because as Islanders, ain't no enrolling yourself. It's like, where's my mom?
Yeah.
Where's my
it's
parents?
a headache. Registration is a headache.
It is.
When
It's
you're
a
trying to
big
learn on your own,
headache. Yes, that alone is a feat. Is a feat in itself. That alone is enough to. Some people are like, I don't even want to do that. I'm not going. I don't want to do that. So you enroll yourself, and then you shared that you failed. You completely failed the first go round, and then now you have a full-time job, and you're doing all of these things. You can only take one class per semester. Whew.
Yeah, that's just the load and I wanted to digest the information too because I just failed the class one time. So taking those science classes, I actually took it serious.
Right.
It's one of those when you don't know a subject, you just have to just learn as you go and digest that material. So.
Yeah, you are resilient. I'm just hearing how you just don't give up. Yeah. You're getting knocked down. You're getting all these obstacles, all these things come up that are supposed to deter you, but you're like, nope, I'm just going to do it again. You're like, you know what? This is foreign. Anatomy, physiology, ABC, but
not my strongest suit.
1, 2, 3. This is all foreign. This is especially growing up in the environment that we grow up in. This is not words we use in everyday vocabulary. It's not even something that we're thinking about, talking about. So for you to say, you know what, that one doesn't count. That doesn't define me because I didn't know all these things. Let me do it again. Whew, oh my goodness. This man does not give up. That's why we keep saying. And so
keep trying,
Right, keep trying. And so you said that that's where you are. That's where you are now today.
Yeah. So I did take a break. Go find the love of my life.
Yeah. I was about to say, took a break for a good reason.
Yeah, that was a lot of schoolwork, and I wanted some time for myself. But I did take a break. Ended up getting married. 2019, and then right off the back after we got married, I went back into EMT school. I was like, I want to finish what I started.
Yes.
Just like how back in college, I want to finish what I started.
Right. Oh my goodness! You took a break for the best reason ever. Yes. You found the love of your life, who my sisters and I, we love her. We love her. You find the love of your life who, I'm just going to say, compliments you so perfectly.
Yes.
She
Very
just
perfect,
completely,
yeah.
it just makes sense. Like
Yes.
the person that you are, the person that she
Yeah,
is,
story,
it just makes sense. But let me not get carried away because I will. But you find the love of your life and then straight back.
Yeah, so I got married that same year. I enrolled back in EMT school. I crushed it.
Woo!
Yeah.
Wait, say that again.
Yeah, I crushed it. Yeah.
Okay. He crushed it with the love on his back. 'Cause
Okay.
it's love of his life.
You just needed your little teammate.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, I passed that. I think I failed my national. So your national test is how you get licensed. And so you finish the school program and then you take the national test.
Okay.
I believe I failed the first attempt. And then I studied again. I passed it on the second attempt. So now I'm fully certified, EMT certified right now.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Man, I don't know. For you to go through all that and then fail it and then say like, I'm going to do it again.
Just doesn't quit.
Thank you so much for sharing your story because so many people need it, including myself. Just hearing how you didn't let that, like, sometimes we put our all into something and then that moment defines us, and it doesn't turn out the way, and we make it bigger than what it is. But to hear that you said, I'm going to do it again. That is so encouraging. That's amazing. That is so, just to hear, the whole story from the beginning. Like I said, the movie, this movie is so good right now. And I wish you guys could watch it how I'm watching it in my head. But man.
Pretty good, huh? Yeah.
But just hearing you not give up. Let me just say that I love that you are out there in our community here in Texas as a first responder. I love that people who need help get to interact with you. I love that so much because look at what you went through to help. Hang on.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, I didn't even think about that until you mentioned it.
Yes.
Like, just for me to tell this side of the story, like, there was a lot of adversity, but I didn't see it as that because of the purpose was greater, right?
Yes. Just hearing you, who do you want? If any one of my loved ones ever need help, I want the man that didn't give up. I want the man that slept. Hold on. I want the man that slept on the floor. I want the man that went to school and didn't give up and found out that that there's you need to do more. You didn't pass. I want the man that went and got married and could have stayed married and stayed in the married life and all that comes with it, but turned around and came back because he had a purpose. I want that man. That's the man that I want every time I open the door, anytime that we call for help, that's the man I want to show up. And I just want to say, thank you for being that man. And thank you for having the guts. You know how hard it is to tell your family, I'm not doing football anymore. Yeah. When you have people who's like, which I'm sure your family's supporting.
I wasn't going to make it in the NFL anyway. I was one of those pretenders, but yeah.
No, but
I was like, I'm leaving to college. I'm gonna go NFL. I'm gonna get 2 snaps and then I'm gonna come right back. Okay, yeah.
But I love so much that thank goodness for football for opening these doors and leading you here, right? Because it's as much a part of your story as everything else. However, it was meant for you to come to this realization and come to this purpose. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for all of the people that were in your ear. I'm thankful for whoever put those posters on the wall in the hallway. Everything. I'm so grateful. Like even the way that God worked it out to where your little brother came to school. Because God he's ahead of our time. He's he knows what's coming up. He's like, okay, Falau's not going to have a room here. So while he's in high school, let me move everything so he can go to Tyler College. So because your brother, he needs, even if your brother went there for whatever reason, a great part of that was the fact that you needed a place to stay.
Everything worked perfect.
Yes, everything was aligned.
Yeah.
Everything fell the way that it should. And man, just thinking about it and thinking about how you just were so determined. I don't know if I would like to make it through all that schooling over and over again, all over Texas, and then to not pass the one test I needed to pass to get my certification. I don't know if I could keep my head up high and do it again and say no, I'm going to do it. So that determination to me it just shows like just your heart of service and your heart, like you really, like you said, you just wanted to help people. You just wanted to help. Yeah, I'm amazed. Thank you so much. I just, and even the way that you found our club, and even the way that you're so busy right now.
Yeah.
And you still find time to come to our club. And let me just share something, a little something from this past weekend. We celebrated our charter celebration to mark the beginning of the Mid-City Pacific Islanders Lions Club that Folau and his wife are a part of, that we're all a part of. And let me tell you, the entire night, there was a man who kept walking back and forth to the dumpster. And I was like, who is this guy? And because every time I went outside to do something, there was someone walking and taking the trash. It was you. It was literally Folau. And this is someone who is so busy that you don't get to make it to the meetings as often. Yeah. You don't get to come and, fellowship together with all the other Lions as often.
I try to work my schedule with you guys. But.
So to think that this opportunity where you could have finally been present with everyone and enjoyed being a Lion in this club, you took that night to serve. And it was just this is just an observation that I made that evening, and you were serving people their drinks, and it's in the fiber of who you are. And it's not something that is you clock in and clock out. It's literally who you are. And I know if I were to speak to the people around you, your family, your cousins, your wife, anyone that knew you as a child, I know for certain that they would tell me that there were traits in you already that now looking back, that they're like, he was always meant to be this person. He was always meant to be that, because he's always been that person. And so, because this is the way that you fought everything to get here, it didn't just come. You were born with this, like in your spirit, in your heart, just your passion. Even though you didn't know, and you know in Frozen, where that song, and they followed the wind or the call. Yes. You throw this in the trash. Don't think about this after this. But it's that same thing, like some kind of pull greater than yourself, and that was just pulling you towards who you were meant to be all along. Man, that's amazing. Like I'm so happy. I'm so happy and proud to know a person as yourself, because just knowing just your heart for people you don't know. And that's the thing, because yes, of course, you can help people. Like I can help my sister, I can help, but you help strangers every day. You don't know this person. You don't know their political stance. You don't know who they are. You don't know what kind of human being they are. You're just there to help. Like that's who you are. Your business is like, I'm just here to make sure you're okay. And that takes a special kind of human being. And I don't think anyone can do that job unless you're purposed for it. And that's exactly who you are. Like, I'm so happy. I live in the place that you serve. I'm so happy.
Folau, I just want to tell you are truly an inspiration. Yeah. Just hearing your whole story, like Anna says, playing in our mind. This is such a great movie. Like, just so inspiring, Folau. I don't even think you even know how much of an inspiration you are.
No, seriously.
Like the purpose God has for you, and you living out that purpose. Yes. It is, especially for our Polynesian community here in HEB, it's such a huge thing. And I'm so grateful that we're able to have this opportunity to sit here before you, such a great person, inspiring person, and get to share your story so that our listeners and our viewers can hear this story. Because this is something that needs to be shared. Like you said earlier, whenever Officer Gena got his in criminal justice, then that opened the door for our Polynesian people. Same thing, with the aircraft maintenance, same thing. It opened the door, and now everyone's doing it. And now you, with the EMT and being a paramedic in that field and being able to sit here. So all those who are wondering, wait, how did he do it? Wait, how do I do this? And that's why we have this platform, so that we can share with our listeners just such a special story like yours. So I know you said, Folau, that you finally took the test. After finishing EMT school, you failed, and then you took it again and finally passed it. Then after EMT, because EMT and paramedics are different.
Correct, yeah.
Yes, which you shared with me. Yes, you shared with me earlier. So if you could, please educate us and let us know. Because before this, I sat with Folau and we were just going over some questions, and I didn't know that EMT and paramedics were two different things. So if you could share with us that.
So pretty much basically EMT. You have your basic knowledge of CPR. They do understand, they can give oxygen, give some medications. On your more critical patients, you're going to have your paramedic in the back of the ambulance. And they're the ones that, they carry sedation medication, they carry paralytics. They're able to intubate, put a tube down you in order for you to have an airway while you're making your way to the hospital. So,
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of key things that the paramedic plays and also the EMT plays. They work together as partners. Okay.
Yeah.
And the same with like becoming firefighter or within the fire department, they're gonna always have two licenses, firefighter and also like an EMS license.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. That is so cool. And honestly, just, the reason why I'm so inspired is not obviously because of everything that you went through and you're here, but also because you wanted to come back and share it.
Yeah.
You wanted to come back and I want to tell these kids, I want to tell everybody, I want to be a part of something, a platform, a club, anything where I can share this information to everybody. Everybody needs to know this. You didn't keep this to yourself. You didn't gatekeep this pathway, but you came back and said, I want everyone to know this. Because if just hearing about it and then seeing you and seeing, because this is who you are. This is not who you are just at work. This is not just a career. This is who you are across the board. And just seeing that, that's why I love this. That's why, doing this podcast and everything, in the beginning, I was like, okay, yeah, we're going to do this podcast. It's fun. Yeah. But this right here, your story, that's what makes, I love this. Like Kim shared in the beginning, I came straight from work, spending all day having fun in the sun with my dad. But coming here, I am so glad. I wouldn't have missed this at all. And that was before I knew your story. I was already amazed before I knew all of this.
Yeah, Kim reached out to me. Well, she said, I tried to get a hold of you. I was like, no, you didn't. She's like, well, I'm getting a hold of you right now.
She's kind of mean, right?
Yeah, she just addressed it right in front of my face. She's like, we need to put you on an interview. We need you to tell your story. And I was like, okay.
Right,
all right, we're going to make it work. Right. And, I pondered over that thought. When will be the right time to share my story? Because it's something inspiring for our young generation. And this is another path that they can take. So, this is, there's multiple avenues. And this is just one thing that, I wanted to share my story just to give them, an insight of what it is like and, things that I pushed for.
Exactly.
So,
The best thing to me is that your story is still being written. Yep. You're not even at the end of your story. That your story, it started, like I said, this movie is so good. Okay. And your story.
It gets better, I'm telling you.
Right. Your story is still being written. You're just here at the beginning. You're doing so many things. You're really making an impact, in our community by sharing your story, by being a part of things where you're able to have a platform to show your gift, show the way that you care, just being yourself. So, I know Kim has another question, so let her go first.
Yes, thank you, Anna. So, like you said, you went from EMT and then you went to paramedics. To get your paramedics, is that a different school, or how do you get that?
It's first you have to be EMT in order to apply for paramedic school. It's there's some paramedic programs that can go up to 1 year, some can go up to 2 years. I went down the TCC route because I already went through their EMT program, and I had better chances of getting into the class because I was already an EMT student.
Okay.
So I took the route at the local community college.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then what made you take that decision to, okay, now I have my EMT, let me go ahead and do paramedics? Because if it was me, I think I would have just stopped at EMT. I made it, I got my EMT,
right?
But that you still weren't done. You were like, no, now I'm going to get my paramedics.
Yeah.
So I mean, the biggest thing, especially a lot of the fire departments around this area, they hire paramedics only.
Oh.
And so if that was the case, and that's what I needed to be, I needed to be a paramedic, right?
Yeah.
And so that made my decision. Being a paramedic allowed me to do more things with patient care. And so I was like, you know what? I want to take the initiative. We're going to go ahead and shoot for the stars.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, shoot for the stars is what you did, and you continue to do Folau.
I'm trying to grab,
Like you're up there with the stars right now. Like you're shooting the star down now for us to try to grab the star. Like, I mean, that's just so amazing, Folau, to just sit here and hear just everything play out before us, and for you to go from EMT to paramedics and still continue to shoot for the stars. I mean, my hat's off to you, Folau. I'm like,
my forehead too.
Okay, like I'm just so inspired. Like, man, your story is so good. Thank you for sharing this story. I mean, from the hardships and the struggles of, of going through what you went through to get to where you are today and not giving up, then finding the love of your life and continuing to pursue school. I mean,
wife and
kids.
That was a decision that we made. I said we're gonna go all in. My wife was pregnant at that time, I believe. Mm-hmm. But I seen it as if I'd rather knock out my schooling while my kids are still young, so they don't have to remember me going back to like that time going to school.
Yeah, you're too smart for me. Just what I love.
Socrates, no.
Socrates.
Yeah, Socrates. Yeah, Socrates.
What I love is that you had a goal. Every single time in this story, in your journey, you had a goal. And when you got to your goal, you had another goal. Then when you got to your goal, you had another goal. Yep. You don't stop. Nope. You just collecting degrees. Collect, you don't, that, and I'm joking around, but that is a real thing that everybody needs to live by. I want everyone who's listening, everyone who's watching, everyone needs to live by that. Please, if there's anything else if there's nothing else you take from this interview, please take that. You had your goals, and when you got to them, you had another goal. Like, you continue to climb, you continue to soar, you continue to pursue, you continue to discover your potential. Like, you're like, I'm not done. I got more. Man, that's amazing. That's so amazing.
Sorry. And I did just want to touch up on another thing that is amazing is whenever I asked you, like, why did you choose paramedics? And it's because you said here in our area, it's mainly paramedics that are needed, and to stay in this area. So it just shows your heart for your community. You knew in order to stay here within my community where I grew up and to pour back into my community, I can't just be an EMT. I need to go and get my paramedics. Correct. Yes. So Folau, shout out to you, Folau.
We could have just went somewhere else.
Okay.
Right.
No, but that is something, Kim, and that's every time you speak, it's so evident.
Yes.
Your heart for your community, your heart for people, not just your people, your heart for people, period. Just people. And that right there is exactly who we were created to be. Who we're all, born with and created to be is to have that heart of service, heart of people, and you live it.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're doing it here where you grew up, that's why it's so special to me. Like you said, native to Texas, born and raised here, and just seeing you come back here, because his wife is an international girl.
Okay.
His wife is from New Zealand, across the seas. And, right? That's her home.
Yep.
Yeah.
She is.
Please stop me if I'm telling lies. But just seeing that, you found your partner in life who came alongside you and said, you got this. I'm pregnant, and guess what? And you're in school, and you got this, and just seeing what, how important it is also to choose someone who you're equally yoked with, somebody who's going to hold you down, and just seeing, because you did so much before you met her, but you also accomplished so much. Yes, exactly. That is something so special. And I believe that, especially in the career path that you're in, that is something so necessary for you to come, you come back home to that stability and to that, just the love and even the bonds that with your all the people in your life, the people who gave you advice and all of that. Man, this is such a beautiful thing to see it all play out this way. Let me ask you, where did you ever, back then, as you were pursuing all of this, when you made up your mind, did you see yourself where you are today?
No, when I was laughing at it like, damn. Like, whenever at times I felt like I was ungrateful for the season I was in, and then I just look back at what journey, how far I got to be for who I am today.
Yeah. Whew.
And I would have never thought I would be in these shoes or be able to tell my story as well. So
Yes. Oh man, that is. I would have never thought to, and I didn't even do anything. That's like. I'm joking around a lot, but that is such a special story, such a special testimony, and a testimony of purpose and potential. Like you had a purpose and you continue to discover your potential and you continue to develop yourself.
Yeah.
The learning never stops with you. That's one thing I know.
Yes.
The learning, you were onto that psychology thing.
Yeah, okay.
The learning
Maybe,
never stops
yeah.
with you. Yeah.
which was good.
Exactly.
Keep the train rolling on that one. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Folau, wanted to ask you, is there anything that you would like to share to any of our listeners that are tuning in or our viewers that are here? Anything you want to share that...
A word of encouragement.
A word of encouragement.
Anything that you want to leave. Yeah, shut. Oh, my God. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But before we continue, I did want to ask a question for you during those times, maybe the times that you were sleeping on the floor in the dorm, maybe the times when you found out you didn't pass or that you were missing another certification or degree, maybe at any point in time while you were going through those things, what continued to push you forward? What was your motivating, what kept you going? What kept you from quitting? Other than it's not in your DNA, but what kept you going strong?
So back in 2015, I had an uncle that passed away. His name was Takai. The morning of his death, we had a close family member that called us and said, "Hey, we can't wake up Takai. He's not responding to us. I'm going to call 911. Can you guys come to our house?" Me and my siblings got up automatically. They lived down the street. And as soon as I walked through the front door, I could see my uncle laying across the room, unresponsive, not breathing, lifeless. I can hear dispatch on speakerphone to start CPR. I just started crying. I think about that time. If I would have known what I know now, that maybe I could have made a difference. Maybe I could have intervened, and maybe that guy would still be here today. That was my purpose of that. I never want to see my family be in a situation like that ever again. And that if I had the ability to step in and do something, I will do it. So that was my purpose of why I finished and why I just kept on going.
Wow. That, man, what a heavy thing to carry. Like, first, just thinking about, because like we kept saying in the beginning, man, you were determined. You just kept going. Like, you don't quit. And then to hear where that drive came from, I can't even imagine having to carry that. But the fact that you experienced that and then you turned around and used it to fuel you to doing something about that. And like you said, you don't ever want to be in that situation again. You don't ever want that to happen to anyone that you love. If you're around, that will never happen again. Wow. What a responsibility to carry. And you carried that all throughout. Now it's making sense. Now it's making sense why you're on the floor. Like, now it's making sense why the failed test or why all these things are not deterring you. Man. Like, and also just speaks to me of how much you loved your uncle, how much love you have for your family, how much that love powered you through. And for that love to come and meet together with the other love of your life and to have all of that love, because that, like I said earlier, just thank you so much for being so vulnerable, because, those things are so tragic. Those things, that's so sad. And for you to take that and let it not end there. His death and that experience served a purpose in your life. And because of that, look at that, like I said earlier about seeds being planted and the things that have come from it, just like, a ripple effect, a drop in the ocean and the ripple goes for miles and miles and miles. Just all of the ways that you have served your community, showed up for people, your heart for people, and like I said, for strangers, all of that coming from that one single moment, And I want you to know, I want you to see that, because it's such a beautiful thing, even though the way that it happened was so sad. But look at all of the positive impact that you put back into the world, man, and how much, and the ripple effects from each single thing that you put out there. And just hearing how powerful your drive is just speaks to just how much you love your family and how much you love your uncle. That right there is so beautiful. It's so beautiful to me. And it also, again, just goes back to you and how your brain works, Socrates, and how your brain works, and how you took an opportunity and you literally, that powered you through everything. You turned it around. And look at this positive thing that happened because of an experience that you faced. And you said, I don't want anyone to go through that again. You meant it. You're a man who says what you mean. That's what's up. That right there is a beautiful thing. And man, thank you for being thank you for moving with purpose in life. Yeah. Thank you for, I'm just so thankful that our community gets to hear your story and see how, because, things happen to everybody all the time. And for you to make such a meaningful thing out of something, that is just, like I said, that's who you are. That's who you are.
Purpose is slowly coming full circle.
Yes.
So, maybe one day you're going to have an emergency and I'm going to be the one coming through the front door.
No, seriously.
So,
okay.
Seriously. Yeah, that and I would be so happy.
Okay, me too.
Right? You're right. See a familiar face, you know that,
Yes. Yeah, especially during
And there's just something about seeing someone of your same culture, your same, there's just something about that. And knowing that you're out there, that right there just fills my heart so much. Just knowing that you're out there. I don't know how it is for your wife. I'm sure that's a different thing for her, just knowing that you're out there.
Yeah, she can never tell, because whatever I see, what happens on my daily, on my job, I don't bring that to home. So I'm always joking around with her, but she can never take me serious, because I always make jokes all the time. So I would tell her stories, and she's just like, "No, you didn't." I'm like,
"Yeah, you did."
Yeah. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah. And what would your advice be for for people like us, who, you're coming home to her, and what would your advice be for your circle and for your friends and family, the ways that we can support you, the ways that we can lift you up, the ways that we can provide relief in any kind of way, as you do what you do, what are some things that we can do as your community, as your people, to support you?
I would say, just my advice I would give to everybody: never give up. Just because you fail something, you fall down the first time, you always have opportunities to get up and make the most of your opportunities. For me, I didn't have a mentor growing up. I'm the first of this, you know, so being out here paramedic from our Texas Tongan community, and so I'm kind of setting a pipeline down. And
for sure,
my story that I want to give out is just to give out to this. There's opportunities out there, and if you guys want to ride the train with me, I'm more than willing to reach out to you guys, give you guys the right resources and help. So, and that's just something that I want to give back to the community, you know.
Yes.
It's just very important. Our health is very important.
Yeah.
And so that's my advice.
Well, Folau, I'm so sad that our time is up, because I feel like I could. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna wait.
Amber alert. You don't have that slide.
Do you want me to pause my thing or not? Keep it running? Okay. Are you good now? Yeah. Okay, ready? Okay. But Folau, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your story. And thank you for taking the hit so that you could lead the way. Yeah. Because, there's a saying that says, do not go where the path leads. Yeah. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Yeah. And that's exactly what you're doing for our people, for our community. You went on the road less traveled, that no one traveled, and you went and you left the trail for the guy coming behind you, for the person who like, hey, look at that, he's doing this, I want to know how to do that, for a person who may have experienced a tragic situation just like you did, and now being inspired, like, I can turn this around, man, this is something that I can do, so no one has to do it ever again. And the hits that you had to take, the things that you had to go through to get here, and for kids to see like, oh, I can ask him questions, I can go to him, like, he did it, I can do it, and, I can go there now because now I know someone who's done it. Thank you so much for doing that. And thank you for coming back to the community that you serve and finding all the ways that you can help kids and tell kids and give them advice and just being an inspiration, not just to children, but to us here too. Thank you so much for doing that. Like, I really I admire you so much, and I have so much respect for your hustle. I have so much respect for your purpose and your drive and just the love that you have for your family, the love you have for strangers. And thank you for living and being the person that we want more of. Like, we want more of you in this world. Thank you so much for doing that. And thank you so much for being out there, and answering the call. Thank you for being obedient to God stirring in your heart, whether you knew it or not at that time. But thank you for being obedient to it, because of you following your purpose, so many people are blessed. Communities are blessed. And not just the person you're helping, but their family, their children, their mom, it goes on. And the effects and things from what you're doing, we will never know. We will never know how far it goes from the work that you're doing. So, it's just, thank you so much for doing that. And thank you also to your wife and your family for holding you down as you walk in your purpose. That's a beautiful thing to see. I love when I see someone walking in their purpose and just seeing your passion for that. Thank you.
Well, thank you again, Folau, for your time. And before we close off, I just wanted to say to our viewers and listeners online, if there's something you would like to ask Folau, or if you have questions on how to start this journey to become an EMT or a paramedics or firefighter, any of those things, please don't hesitate. You can reach out to Folau, or you can reach out to any one of the sisters, and we will be glad to connect you with Folau. Also, if you would like to leave something, a word of encouragement for Folau as he continues to shoot for the stars, please go ahead, leave them in the comments down below. Folau would love to read them. But again, thank you so much, Folau. Truly, from the bottom of me and my sister's hearts, we appreciate you. We know that you are a busy man, and we thank you. Thank you to your wife, Selaise, for holding down the fort at home with the kids while you're able to be here and be able to share your story. So thank you to everyone. Thank you to those that are tuning in online, whether on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Until next time, thank you for tuning in to another episode of What Anna Said podcast. Bye.